The Husqvarna Viking Designer Jade 35 is a machine that has unlimited options, but we're going to start by showing you how to get everything plugged in, threaded, bobbin in place, and how to start sewing. So this is a video you want to follow if you're just doing this for the very first time. But I'm going to show you some tricks along the way too. So if you're not totally new to this, make sure you are following along correctly. So I've gone ahead and plugged into the machine into the side here, and now we're just going to go ahead and plug the foot control right beside it. And your on-off switch is right there above the power cord. Speaking of power cords, I do want to make sure that you are plugging this machine into a surge protector, or better yet, a battery backup, especially when you get to embroidery. If you have any time where your power is not perfect, your embroidery could be a little off, and all it is a power issue, and by the time you get a surge protector or something like that, it will solve all those issues. So this is a computer. Make sure you treat it as one, just like you would with any other accessory in your home. So when we open this up, or when it was shipped to us, the needle was in the down position, and it says raise the needle. So I can go ahead and I'm going to just tap on the foot control, and nope, I'm not. I'm going to just raise it by hand and then touch OK. There we go, and then everything can kind of finish setting, and you can lift up the presser foot. We'll go through the things that are on the screen in another video, so you know how to select stitches. But when you turn it on, it's all set up for a regular straight stitch. So right out of the gate, you can easily have exactly what you need. I'm going to go ahead and just take the bobbin out that we had in the machine, and I'm going to wind a bobbin first. So we're just going to go ahead and take some thread. We want good quality thread. That always makes a difference. If it's old thread, you might want to just go ahead and get some newer thread before you start any work with this great machine. So you're going to just go ahead. I put a spool cap on that matched the spool size. I'm coming down and underneath, kind of away from me under this guide, and I'm going towards the back guides here for the winding the bobbin. So I want to go ahead and go around this little pre-tensioner, and then we're going to take our thread in our bobbin, and there's a hole in your bobbin, and we're going to go from the inside up. So I've come from the inside of the bobbin, and so the tail is coming out the top of the bobbin itself. Go ahead and put that on, and as you slide it to the right, the machine screen will say bobbin winding is on. Hold the thread straight up, okay, and go ahead and step on the foot control. I want you to just go ahead and hold this thread straight up, then that way it can eventually break off. Here it is, it's getting nice and tight. Now, it did break, but there's still a tail on there, so I do want to make sure that that gets all the way clipped off. You can do it at the end, but I'm going to do it right now. Make sure there's nothing sticking up above that bobbin. So we'll finish winding our bobbin here. It'll stop when it's full. If for any reason it doesn't fill all the way and if you feel like it can actually be fuller, there is an adjustment that your store can do for you so it will fill all the way out to the edge. So we'll see how this one is set up. Sometimes it's such a small adjustment, so sometimes it's pretty close. It's looking good here. It's filling really full here. But it'll start to slow down. There it is, when it's done. So I'm happy with that fill. Oh, by the way, I don't need my scissors. There's actually a little cutter right here. Slide the bobbin to the side, lift, and then just bring it across the cutter, and it cuts it. Now, as we had that bobbin spun, if you lift it straight up and then come straight down to the bobbin area, that is exactly the direction that needs to drop in. So if you lift up and drop in, that thread needs to come off the left side of the bobbin and drop right into this. We'll get a closer video of how to put the bobbin in, but there's a little path you follow with arrows and a little cutter right here. Pull to the side, the little thread tail is held, and then you just put the door back over the bobbin and it locks it in. So when we are done with the bobbin, we're going to undo the little pre-tensioner there and then follow the paths with the arrows. If you want to hold on with your right hand here as you go down this first groove, that will make sure that the thread goes down into the tension discs properly and gets all the way where it needs to go. Do make sure while you're threading this machine that the presser foot is up. That will also make sure that the thread goes where it needs to go. And you have a fabulous needle threader. Again, we'll do a nice close-up video of that. And we'll put the thread underneath the foot. We don't have to bring our bobbin thread up. We can just go ahead, lower the presser foot onto the fabric, and start to stitch. Looking good, sounding great. I love the fact that when I'm done, the needle stops up. I can lift up the presser foot, and I have a little cutter on the side of the machine that I can cut my threads with, and we have a great even stitch. And now we're ready to start diving into all the stitches and functions that this machine has.